Hawks lose 7-3 to the San Jose Sharks, but the main thing is Corey Crawford's health. Evander Kane's a freaking dirty piece of crap injuring Corey Crawford. He shoved Dylan Strome into Crow, and Crow's back of the head hit the post, and Crow's now has a concussion. Thank you, freaking Evander Kane, you flippin' piece of crap. That was a dirty play, does not belong in hockey. You know goalies' helmets are not made to take hits. They're made to make saves, not take a hit to the back of the head. Corey Crawford will be out for some time now because Evander Kane injures Corey Crawford by throwing Dylan Strome into Crow, and the Hawks then lose all momentum from their game because Evander Kane's a piece of crap. I can't stand this guy. He should have been called for a match penalty and should have been kicked out of the game. But no, the refs were too dumb to call a flippin' penalty on that guy. That's my issue. Get the head shots right. That, in my opinion, anytime a goalie is down by an opponent leading a hit into a player on the opposition into their goalie, should get a match penalty automatically, because this is a blatant hit to the head. Evander Kane knew what he was doing. He was attempting to injure, or at least make it where Corey Crawford will get out of play to let the San Jose Sharks score. Crow is out for time now because it's official. He has a concussion. Jeremy Colleton announced it just now. That's why this review is coming out a little bit later. I was waiting for the update from Jeremy Colleton on what's wrong with Crow. I feel like all momentum went downhill after Crow went down because of that piece of crap in San Jose and Evander Kane, who should not have been allowed to finish a flippin' hockey game. It's frustrating that the NHL gets all these headshots and don't know how to call what's wrong. And that is why they went through this lawsuit about CTE and concussions. I loved what Daniel Carcillo said in his live stream on Twitter after it for 3 minutes. He basically gave it all. I'm honestly an all side on Daniel Carcillo for what he said, because Carbom basically gave the riot act about what the NHL does about the concussion protocol. Because honestly, at least they officially announced an actual concussion this year, because Corey Crawford missed literally, he went down with injury last year for a concussion December 26, 2017. He returns to the ice October 21st, 2018. That's 10 months. And now, literally, on December 16th, 2018, Corey Crawford goes down with a concussion because San Jose and Evander Kane, who should have been kicked out of the game, gets away with it. I will keep going on. I was surprised no Hawk player went after Kane after that. I wanted a player to go after him. Flippin' Tommy Hawk would have done it if everyone heard, he did get into a fight with a fan because a fan tried yanking the head off of the mascot, the other night against Winnipeg, and Tommy Hawk just laid it out and beat the crap out of him. I wouldn't have and honestly, I don't know how to say it. Who the heck's going to be the backup to Cam Ward? I don't think they're calling up flippin' Anton Forsberg, because we all know how he was last year. And I don't know if they want to call up Colin Delia yet, because they want to develop him. And honestly, who are they going to call up for a goalie? Do they go for a player try to trade for frickin' Scott Darling? Do they sign Scott Foster to a professional contract now? I don't know. The Hawks need to do something now for a goalie, because San Jose basically injures Corey Crawford, and I'm afraid this could be career ending type of injury. I hope it's not, but you don't know. With Crow having been missing 10 months going into this year, I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, the Hawks lose 7-3 because of the injury. I'm sorry, I'm saying that because I feel like that depleted all energy from the Chicago Blackhawks. The Hawks came out to a hot start, and then after they had the lead going into the second period with a 3-2 lead, all momentum dropped, and they looked like they did not want to show up to play because they probably knew Crow was done. And knowing that your star goalie like that, it's done, could be depleting in momentum. That happened to them against the New Jersey Devils last year when Crow went down with his concussion on December 23rd. And it happened again tonight. So, to get the goal scoring off, the Hawks scored 2 minutes and 34 seconds into regulation. Alex DeBrincat scores the first goal of the game, his 14th of the season, assisted by Eric Gusterson. Hawks lead 1-0 after 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. About 40 seconds later, at 3:21 in the first period, Dylan Strome scores his 8th goal of the season, 5th as a Chicago Blackhawk. And the assist went to Connor Murphy, first as a point of the season for Murphy, and Patrick Kane for his 23rd assist of the year. But at 9:58 in the first period, Melker Karlsson scores his 3rd goal of the season, assisted by Redley and Burns. And Hawks and Sharks are now in a 1-goal game. But at 10:40 in the first period, Marcus Shroniskinen, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if you're a Sharks fan. I don't know how to pronounce that name. It looks right and how I said it. Scores his 3rd goal of the season. No, his 6th goal of the season, assisted by Thornton and LeBlanc. And it's now tied 2-2. But at 12:54 in the first period, Brandon Perlini scores his 2nd goal of the season. No, his 3rd goal of the season. First as a Chicago Blackhawk, first point as a Blackhawk, and that's his first goal as a Blackhawk after being with the team for 14 games now. Assisted by Dylan Sekera and Brent Seabrook. Sekera with his first assist of this season because he was called up in the been called up for 2 games now. 3 games now actually. But, and so about with a minute and 30 remaining in the first period, that was when Crow went down, and the injury to him led to all momentum going in Sharks' hand. They never said who was the emergency backup for the Hawks. I'm willing to bet it was Scott Foster, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was someone else. But losing Crow, that I feel like is what caused the team to just lose all momentum in this game. But, so, the person I can't stand right now, Evander Kane scores 4 minutes and 21 seconds into the second period on a power play, scores his 10th of the season, assisted by Burns, and I believe this is Erik Karlsson with his 20th of the season. So, Evander Kane, who injures Crow, gets a goal on Cam Ward. I freaking hate that guy right now. I can't stand him. I'm sorry. And then at 7:36 in the second period, Barclay, Goodrow, I think that's right, scores his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Burns and Karlsson. This Karlsson got his 3rd assist of the season. I don't know if that is Erik Karlsson or this Melker Karlsson. I'll figure it. I don't know. But at 16:16 in the second period, San Jose makes it a 5-3 game, scored by Logan Couture, his 11th of the season, assisted by Dylan and piece of crap Evander Kane. I'm sorry. If you're a Sharks fan and you're hearing me say this, I can't stand Evander Kane. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't give him any respect now. I've never liked him as a player, but he lost complete and utter respect from me as in the NHL tonight. So the Hawks at the end of 2 are now down 5-3, and you could tell they did not have any momentum to play this game after losing Corey Crawford. So going into the third period, 13:03 in the third, Kevin LeBlanc scores his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Burns and Hurdle on the power play. And then at 18:27 in the third period, Thomas Hurdle finished the goal scoring off with his 10th of the season, assisted by Couture to end the game 7-3 Sharks. And let's get to the shot total. San Jose in the first period had a total of 8 shots on net. The Hawks had 5, and the Hawks had 3 goals on 5 shots. Yes, and that's it for the Hawks for goal scoring. And then the Sharks in the second period had 14 shots on net, 8 for the Hawks. Third period, the Sharks had 21 shots on net, and the Hawks had 7. And then the total shots, 43 for the Sharks, 20 for the Hawks. And I don't like how the NHL is showing the 3 stars and who's number 1 star, because Evander Kane somehow got the 1st star of the game. That's not right, honestly. What kind of bullcrap is that, NHL? A guy injures a goalie, you give him a 1st star of the night? That's not right. As you could tell, I'm ticked off right now because you don't injure a goalie. You know a goalie has a head injury history, and it happened. Corey Crawford's going to be out for some time probably because that piece of crap in San Jose injures Crow by giving him a concussion. I'm sorry. If you think it's not a dirty play, I agree with Adam Burge of NBC Sports Chicago, who even said it. That was a dirty play. I know what he was trying to do, and that was what I would have done when I would play. Because honestly, Burge was a player that played on the edge where he would lead to some bad and dirty hits. And he saw it, and that was a dirty hit that led to Strome going right into Corey Crawford, and Crow hitting the back of the head on the goalpost. And I feel like that's what depleted all momentum from the Chicago Blackhawks tonight, because after that they just looked like they lost so much confidence, and honestly, I don't blame them. I don't like how Evander Kane got to finish this game and I just can't stand it. By the way, let's talk about the power play numbers tonight, because honestly, I forgot to talk about those. I want to, well, maybe not. The Sharks had 2 power plays. They scored on 2 power plays. The Hawks had 4 no power play goals, because that's normal with this team, because they suck at playing on a power play. They're the 31st ranked specials teams, because in penalty kill, worse than the NHL at 31, and power play, worse than the NHL at 31. So, special teams does nothing again, and the Hawks